How's it going, guys? So today in the Phantom Cave YouTube channel, we're going to be having a look at the latest in my collection, basically. And so the latest in my collection is the Don Newton's Complete the Phantom publication by Hermes Press. So let's get into it. Hopefully you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Now, Don Newton being an artist, it allows us to actually have a look at his art, have an appreciation for his art, and a lot more, which Hermes Press has always been doing. And sometimes they do a fine job at it, sometimes they don't. Like, sometimes they do a fine job, sometimes they don't. And a few of the stories in this book that we will be having a look at is in this introduction. So the first bit of it is obviously the introduction to Don Newton, the comic book storyteller. And as many people do not know, Don Newton did a few comic art covers for DC. He then went on to become one of the greats in the comic art business, and a lot of people appreciate what he does, what he had done for the Phantom community, especially Phantom fans. Now we have a description of what Don Newton was like. We have some original art from him. That cover I absolutely love. That might be my favorite cover there from him. Yeah, and it's pretty damn good. Yeah, so there it is. So DC did a Detective Comics cover by Don Newton, and so you can see Don Newton and Gerino or something like that, and this was published back for the 500th appearance in Batman's Detective Comics. Now, that being a pretty special moment nowadays in becoming a DC published comic artist. Oh, damn it. Oh, that also is a pretty good cover. Now, this story is called The Triumph of Evil, and it's a very, I think all these stories in this collection that Hermes Press has put together are pretty damn good. And it's with that retroactive stuff that you got to look for in these publications to see if they're going to be right or not, and a lot of other things. So in this, obviously, this being Don Newton's first ever story and comic art he ever worked on, we obviously have to take it into a fact that his comic art was very, very good, and a lot of his fans appreciated it. And as we all know, the people who'd started coming up with the idea of getting Don Newton's covers published was Charlton. So Charlton was a comic company in America, based in America, back in like the 70s and 80s. 70s and 60s and 80s, I think. And a lot of what they published was a lot of Phantom. A lot of Phantom was published back then. But they had, as we all know, with a consurge of Don Newton covers, they had a increase of popularity for the book, and until Don Newton had this Don Newton had died, all that popularity went away, and yeah, it isn't that great that we get to see a comic publisher get done like that, I guess. But yeah, still, Don Newton's artwork is still pretty damn good. He is appreciated by the fans, as a lot of people know. And in this story, actually, it comes in two parts, and it is basically they're looking for an ancient thing, I think. And then the Phantoms and one of Phantom's fathers actually come and try and stop him, and the Phantom father doesn't go that well in stopping them and basically dies. That's just a sad ending to what we know as the Phantom, what we know as everything we know. And I think it may be towards neo-Nazis and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty good story, I reckon, and a lot of what the Charlton stories are. Now, I actually learnt something with these Charlton stories. Now, I thought that the Charlton stories were only like 10, 15 pages long. If you want to answer that for me, why is it that the Charlton stories that I thought were so long, so short actually, and you can comment down below. So we have the Phantom, the 21st Phantom actually, I made that mistake, comes in, and we are actually, what's going on here? And so the 20th Phantom is placed in the crypt of the Phantoms, and then we have the 21st Phantom delivering with what the 21st Phantom has to do. And the next story we have is The Beasts of Madame Khan. And look, just one little second here. Look at these artworks. You can tell there's a lot of effort being put into this. And when we get to the end of the book, we will have pretty much an interview at the end of this book with Tony Newton, Don Newton's son. And so until we get to that, we have this story to look at. And it obviously comes in two parts. There's a lady actually that is sort of doesn't get her own way and has to try and think that because she actually steals a statue that is worth a lot to her, and in the wrong hands can be disastrous. And the Phantom actually gets away with her and defeats her as a lot with the encouragement from and help from her sister. Now, the reason why that Madame Khan is like this is because she is basically half human, half beast sort of thing. And that has been damn pretty good as well. The next story we move on to is a story which features an ancient civilization and an ancient civilization's idol. So yeah, it's on that retrospective. I love this story actually, and a lot of the times when I was reading these stories, I was either on my own or I was at a place where I can have fun. So yeah, it's just pretty cool. This is actually probably at the height of Don Newton's comic book art, and yeah, if we're going too long for this for the viewers, you can obviously go out of this video if you want, and yeah, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, because it's going to be a long one. And here's another comic art. Just, yeah, this is basically my appreciation of Don Newton's cover arts, Don Newton's scripts, Don Newton's comics. And the next one we have is Phantom Monster, of Zenadar. And this one is where, there's a couple scientists that go missing in the mountains, and the Phantom basically has to rescue them, basically. That's basically what it is. And yeah, that's basically what it is. And this guy thinks he can get some artifacts. Greedy artifacts, in fact. And yeah, it's a all these stories, all the comic art, as I've said, are very, very good. And the next one we have, is actually, I think, my favorite cover art of all time. There we are. I discovered it. Look at that. Look at that magnificent. Look at that. And this one, in fact, basically has a villain that I haven't even seen him. So the villain is called Torch, and he is basically a villain that has gone under the radar and has killed a lot of people, and is basically a living terrorist in these comics. And yeah, this mad doctor, this madman, is going to kill him, but the Phantom doesn't allow that. And eventually the Phantom and the Torch escape, and basically that's what it is. And then we come to, I think, the last ever story, and a lot of people love this comic art. They say it's the best comic art of all time, which it is, and it is. So we have the Phantom, I think 17, it's something 17. It's, yeah, here we go. 1776 it is. Phantom 1760 76. And this one is just basically a slave sort of story, and pirates are in it as well. A lot of Phantom, a lot of things in this story. And yeah, this story is one of the better Charlton stories, I think, obviously, because it was in, I think, color or black and white, something like that. Yeah, it's all these stories, all the comic arts, as I've said, are very, very good, and they are worth reading. So we have President Washington in the story as well, which is also a historical sort of thing, is pretty good as well. And as we come to the end of the book, we have a interview with Tony Newton and some pictures of Don Newton's cover arts and artworks. We have an interview, we have some original art. Yeah, it's so good to reminiscent of sometimes. We have a Marvel comic page. And there he is. There's Tony Newton. Good luck. Good job. And unfortunately, Tony Newton passed away, I think, in 2018 or 2019 of last year, I think. If you would like to subscribe to the Phantom Cave YouTube channel, go do so. Go subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time on the Phantom Cave YouTube channel. See yous!